With Earth Day tomorrow, we figured this is the perfect time for Ben Tracy's close-up of James Balog, one of the preeminent environmental photographers of our time.
That's it, you got it.
If you ever decide to try your hand at climbing a 70-foot tall wall of ice, it's helpful to have a guide who knows quite a bit about frozen water.
Thanks for taking me ice climbing.
Well, you're welcome.
That is harder than it looks.
Yeah, no joke, right?
Oh, what is it that fascinates you about ice?
It's so weird looking compared to every other material you see on the surface of the earth. I just feel like I'm entering this other realm, this other kingdom.
We met up with James Balog at the Ouray Ice Park in Colorado's Box Canyon. But he has visited some of the most remote and remarkable kingdoms of ice all over the planet, capturing stunning images of these severe and surreal landscapes as an environmental photographer.
The big problem with being a photographer is that you have to be there and you have to see something and you have to turn it into something inside that little rectangle. I think of it as an adventure with a purpose.
For decades, that purpose has been to document the dramatic climatic changes happening on our warming planet. Vanishing ice, rising seas, the floods, the fires, and the toll it's taking on all living things. Balog has become one of the foremost chroniclers of human-caused climate change.
So many of the things that you've actually documented no longer exist.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think about that?
On the ICE project, I think about that all the time. I mean, I'm stunned by it.
You are a bit of a convert. You were a climate change skeptic at one point.
Well, yeah, I mean, I just had this reflexive human assumption that our little species wasn't strong enough to change this huge organism called nature with a capital N. Then eventually I realized that that assumption was wrong and that I needed to somehow express the reality of what was going on through the pictures, and that's what became the ICE Project.
Balog founded the Extreme Ice Survey in 2007, a network of 27 cameras watching over glaciers from Antarctica to Alaska, Iceland to Greenland, each providing thousands of images per year that, when combined, reveal how quickly we are reshaping our planet.
Yeah, look at that.
The 2012 documentary Chasing Ice shows the moment Balog's team captured one of the largest ice calving events ever recorded, as a massive piece of ice the size of Lower Manhattan broke off of the Greenland ice sheet.
When I started the Extreme Ice Survey, climate change was still seen as a pretty abstract thing. It was something that was going to happen 20 or 30 or 50 years from now. And my God, when you could start to realize, no, it's happening right now, right in front of us, it put a real marker in time to say, this is now, this is real.
And Balog is also using his camera to prepare us for what's to come. He shot this series on sea level rise in the Chesapeake Bay.
The woman Vanessa with her son Trey on her back standing in the water, it expresses the idea of sea level, that the ocean levels will be different when that little boy is grown up than they are today when Vanessa is standing in the water and I'm standing in the water with them. I get a little choked up because these historical weights sometimes kind of trigger something in my head. And it symbolically evokes the fact that those kids will live in a different world than the parents do. I'd like to see that one again, though. Okay.
Balog has spent the past 4 years sorting through and editing nearly 2 million of his photos. He recently delivered many of them to the Library of Congress, where they will join the permanent collection alongside iconic environmental photographs such as Dorothea Lange's images from the Dust Bowl during the Great Depression.
Very iconic image.
Micah Messenger is a photography curator at the library.
Jim's photographs are drawing on these points and addressing a lot of the same subject matter that was being addressed by these photographers in the 1930s.
I'm just like, my brain is reeling. When I see a Dorothea Lange picture up next to one of mine, I'm thinking, this is a high honor. I am really thrilled to be here. You know, I've certainly, this picture, I've known this ever since I picked up a camera. And so that my images should be in the same context as iconic pictures like this. It's pretty great. Oh, wow, I mean, look at this. Look at this.
His legacy living on here at the Library of Congress.
The memory of what I preserved on that piece of paper will advance into the future.
Has added meaning, because as Balog has been documenting the fragility of life on our planet, the 71-year-old is also struggling with his own.
I was diagnosed in midsummer of 2019 with cancer of the blood called multiple myeloma. It certainly made me feel much more mortal and vulnerable than I ever did before.
I'm getting too old for this.
It's made climbing walls of ice more of a struggle.
I found myself panting down here way more than I should have.
But it also motivates him to keep going, while both he and the ice are still here. He hopes his photos are his testament, a record of our past and present, and a message for the future.
I want to be able to say to those people of the distant future, look, not everybody in this time in 2024 was terribly conscious or cared about climate change, but I want to be able to say that this mind, these eyes, and this heart was paying attention.